जब हिजाबे पर्दाए गैबत उठाया जाएगा, एक दिन वो आएगा.
32 years of age, MA in History from Maulana Azad University, Hyderabad, Bachelor in Arabic Literature from Al-Mustafa University, Qum, currently pursuing PhD in Arabic Language and Literature from University of Mumbai. He is a teacher of Quran and Arabic Language at Hawz-e Ilmiya Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, Najafi House, Mumbai. His topic: can we ask Imam E Zamana alayhi salam to solve our problems? It will be in English. May I please welcome Hujjatul Islam Maulana Jauhar Abbas Khan Sahab.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nasalli ala nabiyyil kareem wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin wa la'natullahi ala a'da'ihim ajma'in. Amma ba'd, faqad qala Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala fi kitabihil kareem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Baqiyatullahi khairul lakum in kuntum mu'minin. Can we ask Imam E Zamana alayhi salam to solve our problems? This topic sounds very relatable, especially in this recent times when each and every denomination and firqa has someone whom he asks for his problems, to solve his problems. Basically, this topic gets divided in two parts. First of all, can we ask anyone except Allah to solve our problems? And then after, can we ask Imam E Zamana alayhi salam to solve our problem? Responding to the first one, can we ask anyone, and do we need anyone beside Allah to solve our problems? And if we ask someone except Allah, would it be matter? Someone say yes. People, especially if you are aware of that gentleman from Aligarh saying that if you ask anyone except from Allah, other than Allah, you are clearly a mushrik. So basically, and have you ever thought about that? This problem, shirk, mushrik, iman, and kufr, and why doesn't this problem get sorted out? Millions of speeches, billions of books, millions of articles, and this problem still exists between us. Why? Because both the parties, whether they are supporting tawassul or they are against it, both the parties describe or elaborate the word shirk with their own perspective, by their own meanings of that word. So, referring to the verbal meaning of shirk, sharaka yashriku, being a part of something. Sharakat or shirk, the same thing. Mushrik, someone who claims or makes part of someone. Mushrik fillah, yani someone who claims that Allah has a partner. Okay? And they say if you ask anyone or anything except Allah, you believing that Allah has a partner or Allah has a parallel authority beside him. And this can be found in two things, two sections in your life. First of all, in your actions. Your actions sometimes denotes that you believe someone is also having same authority that Allah possesses. And second thing, your intention. You doesn't do anything. You are lying on your bed. But since you believe that Allah has a partner, you are a mushrik. Okay? So, focusing on these two only, getting back to the Quran. Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, وَإِذِ اسْتَسْقَى مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ فَقُلْنَا اضْرِبْ بِعَصَاكَ الْحَجَرَ فَانْفَجَرَتْ مِنْهُ اثْنَتَا عَشَرَةَ عَيْنًا. We see in Quran, we find in Quran that if your action, if you ask someone except Allah for help to resolve your problem, but you don't intend, don't believe that he is a partner of Allah, your action is not a problematic. Because in particular in this incident, we see that why this Sasqa Musa asked for Allah for water for his people, and Allah says, strike your stick on that stone, and the water was there. Just a minute. Just think that why the people of Bani Israel, why the people of Janabe Musa had to go to Janabe Musa. Why didn't they just went to Allah and asked, oh Allah, give us water? What was that? What is it different? And if they had went to directly to Allah, what would have happened? Simply, Allah would have never told them that go to Musa, he has a stick and he can solve your problem. Because for that, each and every one of Bani Israel would have needed to be a prophet to receive such a message. That means if you go to Allah directly or find his hujjah, both are the same thing to resolve your problem. And Islam, first ayat in which Allah not only allows but encourages to finding his hujjah to connect to him. Other ayat in Surah Nisa, ayat number 64, Allah says, وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ لَوَجَدُوا اللَّهَ تَوَّابًا رَحِيمًا. And when they do unjust to themselves, if they come to you and beg for forgiveness for their sins, and Rasulullah also begs for Allah for their forgiveness, they would find that Allah accepts everything. Why to use this lengthy process if you have Allah on your side? Why to go to Rasulullah and then ask him to seek forgiveness for you, then Allah forgives you? Why don't you just get up in your bedroom and ask Allah? What it means? It means as long as you don't believe that Allah has a partner, your action cannot prove that you are a mushrik. And coming back to the second part, intention. If you believe that Allah has a partner, no matter whatever action you do or whatever you perform, you are a mushrik. Please be attentive. Can you differentiate in between these two things, action and intention? Which one of these two is more dangerous to you? I mean, which of these two can lead you, drive you to the shirk more rapidly? Obviously intention, because your action doesn't always necessarily takes you to the shirk. For example, if you ask me, please give me that paper, I give you. And if you don't intend that, if you don't believe that Allah has a partner, this action would not be labeled as a shirk. But your intention, as soon as you thought that Allah has a partner, you are a mushrik. Even you are offering a namaz. Namaz, the purest action a Muslim could have ever done. In that purest form of action, too, you can be a mushrik, because just because you believe that Allah has a partner. So your intention is more dangerous and this is something you must be more careful about, because it can take you to the shirk more rapidly and more quickly. So having mind in these two, let's get back to the history. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Bukhari and Muslim both narrates this, so there is no need to show any kind of references. 12 of my companions are munafiq, hypocrites. Someone says, Ya Rasulullah, if you know that 12 of your companions are mushrik, why don't you just simply eliminate them? And we can live freely. Rasulullah says, I can do. But if I eliminate them, people will say that, oh, Muhammad is killing his own companions. Please note and answer me. Which problem? I said there are two forms of shirk. Once in your actions and once it can be found on your intention. Which of these two were found in munafiqs? Was their action shirkful or their intention? Obviously intention. Munafiq, what is munafiq? Who says La ilaha illallah, who says Muhammadullah verbally, but intentionally he says, internally he is a munafiq, that he doesn't believe in Allah, Rasulullah. Ultimately he doesn't believe in Allah as well. So munafiq who has the biggest problem of these two? Rasulullah. How Rasulullah responded to that problem? Said, unless, as long as they are claiming to be a Muslim, I have to treat them as a Muslim. Unless they declare themselves as a mushrik, I will not take action, any kind of action against them. And Quran says, إِذَا جَاءَكَ الْمُنَافِقُونَ قَالُوا نَشْهَدُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ إِنَّكَ لَرَسُولُهُ وَإِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَكَاذِبُونَ. Quran doesn't label them as mushrik. Quran says, kadhib. They are liars. Even Quran knows their intention is that Rasulullah is not a prophet and Allah is not a God. So the biggest problem, because of these two, munafiqeen and hypocrites by the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, back then in first or second Hijri, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, neither the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them mushrik, neither the Quran labeled them as a mushrik, but they waited them to expose themselves and accept that they are mushriks. So if in this time, in our time and this current situation, why can't we respond to those whom we think that are mushrik? Why don't we wait for them to explain that what is in their intention? We see someone is asking Imam Hussain Masal. Someone is asking, for example, someone else. We say that this is a mushrik. Why? You know that action cannot be a criteria for being mushrik or mu'min. I'm offering namaz. Can I be a mushrik or not? Yes, I can be. Because iman, belief, intention is an internal job. No one can define this unless I clarify it. So if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam can tolerate the one who is intentionally against iman, and obviously he's a mushrik, but Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, as long as he is claiming to be a Muslim, I will accept his Islam. So in this time, in this era, if someone asks Imam E Zamana Islam, you cannot say that he is a mushrik unless you ask him, what is your intention? What do you think about Imam E Zamana? What Imam E Zamana Islam is in your eyesight? Then only you can label him as a mushrik or something else. So getting back to the topic, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and interestingly, if I was leader of mushrikeen, Allah na kare, but if I ever managed to become their leader, I will never accept any of Muslims as a mushrik. Because as long as you are chanting La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, you are up to your kalme tawhid, how can you be a mushrik? First get rid of that slogan and then come and take part in this group. But if we Muslims, we just cherry pick. If we see someone asking except Allah anything, anytime, he is a mushrik. So main thing that this shirk and this allegation of shirk doesn't end, because some people get trapped in emotions. While asking for someone, they are emotional, and their opponent too is sometimes emotional. No, this is a shirk, this is a shirk. Now we have to stick to the Quran and stick to the Sunnah. And Quran says and Sunnah says, unless a person clarifies or defines himself as a mushrik, you cannot label him as a mushrik. And concluding to this, Mr. to whom I referred, it's not better to mention him, that professor from Aligarh, he says that Imam E Zamana alayhi salam, you ask Imam. So it is clear that we can ask anyone except Allah, as long as we are thinking that his power is not parallel to Allah, but is granted from Allah. Okay? So Imam E Zamana alayhi salam, if you believe that Imam E Zamana alayhi salam, all the power he possesses is given by Allah, you can ask for solving your problems. So he says, why? You writing a letter to Imam E Zamana? Who did that? In Imam Ali alayhi salam, in the period of Imam Ali or other Imams? Did anyone write these kind of letters to Imam? Or they went directly and asked for their problems, to solution of their problems? Obviously, they went directly. So why to communicate? His term is communicating extraordinary, communicating hypothetical and blah, blah, blah. He says, why to use these methods? Why don't we go directly to Imam E Zamana and ask? This kind of argument shows, and this kind of fallacy shows, you are unaware of basic of your concepts. Basic concept is what you accept, that fellow too accepts, that Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam, Imam Raza alayhi salam, Imam Jawad alayhi salam, and in some narrations, Janabi Abu Talib and Janabi Zakaria. All of these 5 respected personalities have mentioned Bibi Janabi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullah Alaiha in their prayers. And while asking Allah for their solution of their problems, they always mention Bibi Fatima Zahra Salam. So on one hand, you are accepting that Aimma Tahirin have made Bibi Fatima Salamullah Alaiha their wasila in their tawassul. And on other hand, you say, why we communicate Imam E Zamana Islam through letter? So this shows that you are unaware of your basic teachings, what you accept, but you don't know that these things exist in your own text. And finally, I would say that calling a man shirk, or calling a person who is asking from someone who is believed to be blessed by the grace of Allah, the grace of Allah and the power of Allah and the might given by Allah, is not a shirk. Brother, you are mistaking the basic concept. Allah and wajihan indallah are the 2 different things. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa akhiru da'wana أن الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم عجل لوليك الفرجه الشريف وسهل مخرجه المنير واكحل ناظرنا بنظرة منا عليه بر محمد وآل محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Jazakallah. Maulana, thank you very much for your wonderful thoughts. Small token from Promised Mehdi to you. Summing up the speech by Maulana Jauhar Abbas Sahab, where his topic was, can we ask Imam E Zamana to solve our problems? He very clearly elucidated, defined shirk and mushrik, gave a good example of Hujjat-e-Khuda of that time, Janab Musa alayhi salam, to prove his point. Thank you very much for your enlightening words.
صدق الله العلي العظيم.